Welcome to my little corner of the internet, where we celebrate creativity and growth. Thank you for joining us today as we dive into Qasar. Hasar, Iran. Qasar was one of the three full brothers of Genghis Khan. According to the Jami al-Tawarikh, his given name was Jochi and he got the nickname Qasar after his distinguished bravery. He was also called Khabht Khasar because he was skilled with a bow. In this section, we'll be deep diving into early life, unraveling its complexities and uncovering valuable insights. Hasar, as a child, was thrown out of the Bajajin tribe along with the rest of the family by the Tachiad warlord Tarute Hirilchu. Food was scarce and better. His older half-brother, and the eldest of all the sons of the late Yesuji, stole or kept food from his mother and siblings. Hasar and his brother Timjin, who later became known as Genghis Khan, killed their half-brother Beta as he returned from a fresh hunt. After the defeat of Timjin at Khabht Khasar sans 1203, Hasar was lost and hid himself, along with his sons and followers, in the forest. Timjin then gathered new adherents among the Mongols, tricked his rival Ong Khan with a fake message of surrender from his missing brother Hasar, and crushed the Karates in late 1203. In the next segment, we'll be exploring military career and its implications for our subject matter. Granted territories by the Khan, Genghis Khan's full brothers Qasar, Hijian, and Temujin formed the left wing of the Mongol Empire in the eastern edge of Inner Mongolia, while Genghis Khan's three sons, Jochi, Chagatai, and Ejidi, made up the right wing in the western edge. The right wing saw a significant expansion to the west, but the left wing did not have so much land to conquer. Qasar did conquer what would later be known as Korea and Manchuria, including Outer Manchuria in Russia north of the modern-day North Korea. Hasar's mother, Holan, defended him against accusations of disloyalty stemming from Tengri, a shaman. Stiffened by his mother Holan and wife Bert, who saw Tengri as threat to the dynastic succession, Genghis allowed Qasar and Temujin to kill Tengri in a wrestling match. Unlike the right wing where properties were equally divided, Temujin was favored over Qasar and Khachiyan in the left wing. Hasar's Alas people and secondarily, territory was significantly smaller than Temujin's. His original territory was located to the west of the Khingan Mountains and was surrounded by the Agan and Hala rivers, and the Klan Mountain. After the conquest of China, Hasarid princes had at least two additional territories in Shandong and Jiangxi, respectively. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore descendants through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. The princely houses of Hasar, Khachiyan, and Temujin tended to coordinate with the five powerful clans, the Jalaya, Kungshrid, Ikiz, Arud, and Mangud. They were usually led by princes from Temujin's house. At Ai-Bukar's rebellion, the three princely houses supported Kublai Genghis Khan's grandson under leadership of Temujin's grandson, Tucha. Among Hasarid princes, the third family head Yesing is probably the most famous. He was a son of Hasar and succeeded his brother Yeg. He is the hero of the Yesing inscription formerly known as the Genghis Stone. The princely house was succeeded by Yesing's son, Isan Imjin, and then Imjin's son, Shida. Although Shida joined the rebellion against Kublai led by Temujin's great-great-grandson Nayan, the princely house survived without confusion. The sixth head, Babusha, was given the title of Kiwang by Kashan Klig Khan in 1307. Sources show that Hasarid princes continued to hold the title even after the Yuan dynasty collapsed. Hasar's descendants were effective in other parts of Mongol Empire. It is also claimed that one Hasarid prince was killed in order to protect the last great Khan Tohogan Tama from Ming troops. Totama, a descendant of Hasar, was the last powerful claimant to the throne of the Ilkhanate in the mid-14th century. The family was known as the Hasar clan. With the death of Totama at the hands of the Sabadars of northern Khorasan in the mid-Urs, it is possible that the surviving members of the Hasar clan escaped into the mountains of what is today Afghanistan, where their descendants maintained their clan name of Hasar, which evolved over time into Hasar or Hazars. As the Hazar people do not have a written history of their own, nothing can be proven, but this theory is more likely versus the theory that the name Hasar comes from the Persian word for 1000, which is actually Heza. As these Ilkhanate Mongols had converted to Shia Islam and married Persian-speaking Persian women, their children had been raised as Shia Muslims with a mixed Mongol-Persian characteristic. This explains the current culture of Hasar's people very well. It is not clear what happened to Hasarid princes from the late Yuan dynasty to the middle 15th century because of the confusion caused by the collapse of the Yuan dynasty in China proper. Mongolian chronicles compiled from the 17th century to the early 18th century contain some records on Hasar's descendants, but they are considered mostly unhistorical by historians. In particular, Altan Tobchi by Mergan Jigin, not to be confused with Lubsananjan's Altan Tobchi, exaggerated the influence of Hasarid princes as the author himself descended from Qasar. The Oirat ruler Isan Taisi deported a body of the Horchan to western Mongolia in 1446 and they became the Koshads. It is widely accepted that Hasar's descendant Bolune was a historical figure since his existence is confirmed in contemporary Chinese sources of 1463, 1467, and 1470. Mongolian chronicles say that Bolune's brother Anabold killed Murihe of the Ongliad, a descendant of Genghis Khan's half-brother Belti. Another famous story about Anabold tells that he proposed to Mandukikitan, a widow of Manjulan Khan, but that she chose the Jenghisid infant Batu Monk Dayan Khan over him. Bolune led the Horchan Mongols. His descendants ruled the Horchan, Jalaid, Dobd, and Gorlos of the Jirim League, the Arukachin of the Juhua League, and the Durban-Het, Mumingan, and Arad of the Yuanchub League in the Manchu-led King dynasty's administration. Among them, Horchan princes established matrimonial relationship with the imperial family of Asin-Gyoro at the early stage of the Manchu rise to power, and held top-ranking princely titles Hoisin-Wang throughout the Qing dynasty. The Dobeds in Hanjiang submitted to the king in 1624, and they were organized into a banner in Jirim League ruled by descendants of Hasar. The Gorlos banners were also ruled by descendants of Hasar. If you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to drop them in the comments section.